Shalom, guys. It's Gav. I'm not going to talk about Israel today. I'm not going to talk about Judaism or Torah or Zionism or anything like that today. I'm going to talk about American politics. So if that's something that bores you, I'd suggest just turn this off now. So the newly elected members of Congress. Um, so some claims have been made. A tweet put out by newly elected Representative Ilhan Omar from Minnesota claims that, one, she is the first refugee to be elected to Congress, and that Representative Rashida Tlaib of Michigan is the first Palestinian American to be elected to Congress. Neither of those claims is true. Rashida Tlaib is the third Palestinian American elected to Congress, and what's more outrageous about this particular claim is that the first two are still in Congress. The very first, Nunu, he's been in Congress since 1997. So 22 years, this guy's been in Congress as the first Palestinian American. And the second one is Justin Amash. Since 2011, he's been in Congress, and he's Palestinian American. But, of course, to the intersectionality-oriented left, the identity politics left, this doesn't really matter. Neither one of them are Muslim, and Justin Amash is particularly right-wing, so he's not a real Palestinian, quote-unquote. That's how ridiculous this whole thing has gotten. And Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota claiming to be the first refugee in Congress, that's ridiculous. As far as I can, there may be even more, but she's at least the fifth. There's Tom Santos of California. He was a Hungarian-born Holocaust survivor. He made a lot of legislation as far as human rights goes. He entered the country as a refugee. Senator Rudy Boschwitz, who's a Republican from Minnesota, was also a refugee who fled Nazi Germany. Representative Ilana Ros-Lehtinen from Florida, of Jewish descent, but is originally a refugee that fled Cuba. And there is another gentleman, Joseph Colau of Louisiana, who was a refugee who entered the country from Vietnam. So she's like the fifth refugee to enter the United States and then later be elected to Congress. Of course, none of this matters except for it's just one more lie that politicians say. I mean, these people haven't even really assumed office and done anything yet, and already they're lying. Or either that or they're so negligent that they can't bother to fact check themselves, which is hilarious. But here's the bottom line. I hate identity politics. I really don't give a shit what you are. I do not give a festering donkey's asshole what you are. I really don't. And I think it's pathetic and it's embarrassing that they're going around high-fiving each other. Yay, we're the first woman that wears a hijab. We're the first youngest this and that. We're the blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care. I care what your ideas are. But here's the thing. When you examine their ideas, these people pretty quickly reveal themselves to be festering sores on the human tapestry. Okay? If I was Ilhan Omar, I would want the most important thing the public knows about me to be that I was a refugee too. Even if it wasn't true, that's what I want them to know. Because once you pull back that nice little tapestry, you find out that I lied to my Jewish constituents about supporting BDS until I got elected, until I got them to vote for me, and then of course I switched sides. You have to ignore my anti-Semitic tweets, things like that. You have to ignore the fact that I've questioned anti-female genital mutilation legislation. Yeah, how about that? That's, stellar stuff right there. Rashida Tlaib, I want people to know I was the first, but not exactly so she hides it. I'm the first Palestinian American in Congress. Yeah, we kind of noticed that you had an affinity for your Palestinian identity, seeing as how you celebrated being elected to the United States Congress by wrapping yourself in a Palestinian PLO flag all over TV. Oh, jeez. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Your ideas matter. Okay? As far as making legislation, your ideas matter. Who you are, what nationality you come from, your religion, your race, your ethnicity, your sexual orientation, these things do not matter in determining whether or not you're qualified for office. I shouldn't even have to say this. The youngest Latino woman, the youngest black this, the first Muslim this. I mean, it's getting so ridiculous. In 50 years, it's going to be when they run out of stickers to go out, it's going to be, oh, the first one-legged, one-eyed, pansexual former prostitute got elected to Congress today. This is the road we're going down. Because your ideas are no longer important. The little pegs you can check off on a chart that make up your identity, that's what's important to some people. And that's sad. That's really sad. Well, you know, my culture informs your decision. Yeah, of course your culture informs who you are and your identity. I get that. I get that. But when you legislate, what's important, especially in an American context, is one, is the stuff you legislate constitutional? Is it for the public good? That's all anyone should really care about. If you take pride in being the youngest, blackest, whitest, Irishest, first transgender, if that's something you take pride in, I feel bad for you. I'm not high-fiving and celebrating with for you. What are your accomplishments and your actual achievements, okay? Being Palestinian American, for the most part, is an accident of birth. That's not an achievement. Okay? Yeah, of course, I'm proud to be Jewish. I love being Jewish. It's great. But it wasn't my choice. I was born this way. And if I ever ran for U.S. Congress, which is actually impossible for me now, I would make being Jewish a big deal. I really wouldn't. I'm not going to be like, hey, guys, yeah, I'm going to be the first Orthodox Jew in Congress, which even that claim would be disputable. There are other people who I think qualify for having that title in the past, but it shouldn't matter. What am I going to do for your taxes? What am I going to do for your kids' education? What am I going to do about national spending? What am I going to do about foreign policy? What am I going to do about fucking roads? Those are the reasons why you should vote for me if I was ever to run for Congress. Not, oh, there's a first bearded Orthodox Jew who happens to look partly Eritrean. God. That's all, and that's it.